Hey guys, it's your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class. Thanks a ton for tuning in to our live webcast where we'll be talking about wealth building and some of the struggles that working class people face and how they can overcome these struggles. So as guests are starting to pour in, just give us a couple minutes and we'll be ready to get started. But if you're here to learn about how you can transform your finances, then you're in the right place. So just give us a couple minutes as people file in. We'll go ahead and get the webinar started in about 2 or 3 minutes. So just hang out for just one moment. I'm gonna be on camera, not you. Hey guys, H Cortez. Once again, just give us a couple more minutes. We got a few guests streaming and flowing in, and we don't want to keep having to stop the broadcast. So give us a couple more minutes, guys, and we're going to get started. If you come here to learn how to build wealth, you're in the right spot, because I promise you, I'm going to give you some practical yet proven wealth building strategies that any working class person can apply in their lives today and start seeing the results of what they apply today in the next 7 to 10 days. So I really want you guys to just relax, get out a pen and a paper, be ready to take some massive notes, and then we're gonna make this thing fun, but I'm gonna give you the information that you need to walk away from this session empowered and take you to the next level financially. So give us a couple more minutes and I promise, guys, we'll be ready to get started.
How are you? Good.
Okay, guys, I know I've said this twice already, but I promise, give me 2 more minutes and we'll be ready to get rocking and rolling. Again, take out your notes, get a pen and pad, ready to take some notes, because I'm going to give you some practical, proven wealth building strategies that you can implement today that will affect your finances in a positive way in the next 7 to 10 days. So 2 or 3 more minutes, guys, I promise we'll be ready to get started. So just give me 1 more moment. Spit out what you brought. Yeah, rehabbing that knee.
Yeah. And I went for a walk today. I did a good sweat walking. You always say, it's always.
That is big wife.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I know it's like this all the time.
All right, guys, we are just about ready. Again, get your pen and your pad out, because I'm going to give you some notes that you can implement some strategies into your life right now, today, that will affect your finances in a positive way in the next 7 to 10 days. And then over the course of time, you will be able to use this step-by-step method to build wealth for you and your family. So I'm super excited to share with you guys. Give you a little bit of background about myself. Again, I am H Cortez. Some of you guys know me as the financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my very best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all across this great nation of ours. And just so that you know, I am not a super rich guy or anything like that, but what I have found was some strategies that have helped me and my family overcome bankruptcy, basically pull ourselves out of foreclosure, because we were literally, before I ran into this information, 6 months behind on our mortgage, house about to be foreclosed on, but I was able to apply these strategies and literally within a couple months overcome a lot of the challenges that we have. Now, you guys may be aware that most working class people literally are living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not telling you guys what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. I was a guy caught up in the payday lending cycles. I'm the guy that will lease furniture and pay 4, 5, 6 times the amount of what the furniture is worth, because I can pay a little bit over time. Well, all of that stuff has a negative impact on your overall financial health. And we're going to give you some strategies on how to overcome that. So forgive me, from time to time, I will take a sip of water as I get through this presentation, but I promise you, you will learn something today. And then if you take the next step of actually applying what you learn, you will be in a better place financially in the next 7 to 10 days, 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 years, and the rest of your life, based on the practical wisdom that we're going to share with you guys today. So what is this all about? This is all about building wealth. All right. Understand there's a difference between riches and wealth. We know that riches are, pretty much determined by a set dollar amount, whereas wealth, on the other hand, is determined on how you make your money. All right. So a rich person can hit the lottery and can go from poor to rich overnight. But guess what? When those riches are gone because of how they got those riches, that person would not be considered wealthy. A wealthy person, on the other hand, makes the majority of their income through non-wage sources. And all that simply means is that they don't have to get up and go to work to make their money. They have money coming in from other sources. One of my mentors like to say it like this: income is measured by dollars and wealth is measured by time. So for instance, if you got yourself to a place where your non-wage income exceeded your monthly expenses, then you, my friend, would be wealthy. What does that mean? If it takes you $5,000 a month to live comfortably, the lifestyle that you've chosen for yourself, and your non-wage sources of income are equal to $6,000 per month, then no, you don't have millions of dollars, but you're wealthy, because whether you roll over in bed or roll out of bed, your expenses are taken care of. And I think we all can agree that's where we're trying to get to in life. So what we're going to do is lay out a framework of what we call our financial transformation, or sometimes known as income shifting. What I want to do is first point out to you the 2 objectives that we're all trying to meet. So if you're taking notes, then write down 2 objectives. Second, we're going to talk about the 4 challenges that are keeping working class people broke. So you write down 4 challenges, and then I wouldn't dare bring you into this forum and talk about objectives, then talk about challenges without having some practical solutions that you can apply in your life. So finally, you're going to write down the number 3, and next to that, put solutions, because we're going to talk about 3 practical solutions that will help you get to where you want to be financially. So I do have a few illustrations that will draw up on the board, but not many. But for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And we're going to get started and talk about those 2 objectives. What is it that we are trying to do today? Basically, our 2 objectives are this. We are trying to live today, and then we know that we have to live tomorrow. So what I mean by live today, every day you're getting up and you're going to work because you know that you have to pay your rent or your mortgage. You have to put food on the table, clothes on your back, gas in the car. You got children, you got to take care of their activities and all of the things that go along with raising children in this day and age. And for the most part, that is paid for by your labor. So if you're taking notes and you want, today's lifestyle should be paid for by your labor. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not here to bash your job, but understand that the money that comes off your job should be taken care of today. But guess what? We also have to take care of tomorrow. That means the labor that we're using to put food on the table today, bring income into the household, we also have to be putting some of that money to the side for our tomorrow. Or in other words, objective number 2 is your future lifestyle should be paid for with your investments. Now, how many of you guys out there realize that most people are barely meeting the first objective? We talked about it early on in the presentation. 3 out of every 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. As a result, they are barely meeting that first objective, let alone having money put to the side to get to that second objective. But there is a reason that is happening, especially here in America. And we're going to talk about the 4 challenges. But before we do, I want you to understand that there were two entities that tried to put something in place to help us along the lines of our future or being able to pay that future lifestyle with our investments. All right, the first was the government. What the government did was they said, hey, we know that everybody is going to work. We also know that everybody is going to need an income when the day comes that they retire. So they said, and we will take a portion of everybody's pay, put it into a fund, and let that money build over time, and then we'll pay out what's known as Social Security. Well, if you're a Generation X like myself, or a Generation Y, or even a millennial, you might be calling that social insecurity, because we literally don't know if any of that money is going to be available for us when we get it to that retirement age. But the other entity that tried to help was the corporations. Corporate America put together what's called a pension. And they did the same thing. Said, you know what? We're going to take a little bit of your paycheck and we're going to put it into a pension fund. And that money is going to be invested to grow over time so that that pension will be able to be drawn upon by all of our tenured employees and give them something in their retirement years. But here's why that went away, right? Because how many of you guys know that pensions are pretty much no longer in existence unless you're one of the last few that are eligible for them? And the reason that went away is because when they first instituted the pension plan back in the 30s and the 40s, people didn't live to be 100 years old. So what they found was that I can pay you a retirement pension and you will basically live 5, maybe 10 years after retirement, and that was fine. But then people started living 15, 20, 25, 30 years beyond retirement, and corporations said, you know what, we simply cannot afford to bear this burden. As a result, they've switched from a pension plan to a 401k plan. In other words, putting that responsibility back into your hands. So we know that the government did what they did with Social Security. We can't say whether it's going to be there for us or not. One thing I do know, I don't know if you ever got one of those Social Security statements in the mail that lets you know what your Social Security amount is going to be. But I know mine is 960 something bucks. That's not going to cover it when I hit retirement. So even if it is going to be available for people my age or younger, chances are it's not going to be enough for us to retire on. So now I'm not going to turn it away because I work for it. It's mine. So if it's there, that'll be some extra income. But for the most part, it's not going to be enough for you to maintain the lifestyle that you have now and try to live this same lifestyle off of $1,000, maybe $1,500 per month coming from Social Security. So next, we're going to go ahead and get into the 4 challenges that are keeping most working class people broke. Challenge number 1, inflation. Now, you can argue about it and you can be mad about it, but the fact that we live in a financial system where our currency is not real money or backed by anything, all that simply means is by design, is going to lose value every day. Or in other words, the way it appears to most people is that the cost of living is going up every day. Either way you look at it, if you don't have an answer for inflation, you're going to find yourself in some trouble. I remember as a kid growing up, we had what's called house stores in the neighborhood. That's basically some entrepreneur who went and bought a bunch of stuff from the warehouse, and they would sell it out of their living room, out of their garage, or whatever the case was. But I used to be able to go and get a bag of chips for 15 cents. Now, I take that same nickel and dime today, or take them same 15 pennies. Nothing has changed about the nickel and dime. Nothing has changed about the 15 pennies. But guess what? If I take those same 15 cents to the store, I am not getting anywhere close to a bag of chips. And that's what inflation does. I'll give you another example, right? You're talking about the cost of everything simply increasing, and we know that wages in this country has pretty much flatlined. You know, in the same time period, I can go to that same corner store, give them $1, and I get 4 Best sodas. If you guys are local to St. Louis, Best is a local bottling company where we get our sodas from, or if you're from the South, you might call it a pop. But you can get 4 for $1. Today, I put $1 in a vending machine and I get nothing. Why? Because I need to put another quarter or another 50 cents in that machine just to get it to spit out that same soda. So that's the cost of living going up, but wages have flatlined. So if you don't have an answer for inflation, you're pretty much losing every day. And that's why we call that the silent income killer, because it slowly overtakes you over time, incrementally, and you don't realize it's actually happening to you. All right, so that's challenge number one, the silent income killer, also known as inflation. Challenge number two, there's nothing silent about this guy, so we call him the chainsaw massacre, also known as taxes, or your Uncle Sam, right? There's nothing silent about Uncle Sam digging his hand down into your pocket, getting his off the top, right? And what people don't realize is that working class people pay on average 28 to 33% of their income in taxes, which means Uncle Sam gets his off the top, right? And then you're trying to deal with what you have after the fact. So taxes is the second challenge that you have to overcome. And guess what? If Uncle Sam is taking 1/3 of your income, then he's also taking 1/3 of your time. Most people don't realize it, but if you really break it down, you're working 4 months out of the year just for taxes, right? So from January through April, you're working to pay taxes. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you think about it like this, if Uncle Sam said, you know what, we're gonna take all of your income for the first 4 months, and then in May, you start taking your income home, nobody would go for that. Who'd sign up for that program? I know I wouldn't. So what they did was they said, okay, we're just gonna ration it throughout the whole year and just take a little bit from each paycheck. So now we don't feel like we're working 4 months for free, but that's exactly what's happening when you don't have an answer for taxes. So challenge number two is taxes, otherwise known as the chainsaw massacre. Now, because of challenges 1 or 2, they somewhat lead you down the path to get involved with challenge number 3, and that is debt. If you think about it like this, my money is losing value every day. Uncle Sam is taking 1/3 of my check before I even get it. But in order for me to maintain some semblance of a lifestyle, then I tend to go and finance the car. I finance the house. I may finance a big screen TV because I feel like I'm working so hard, I want something to show for it. Well, guess what? That which you borrow, you will also have to pay back. So basically what's happening to working class people is inflation is eating at their income every day, and their wages on their job are not keeping up. Sometimes the rate of inflation goes as high as 8%. Who's getting an 8% raise on their job, right? I know I'm not. So that's killing us. Then Uncle Sam gets his 1/3 off the top before you even see your money. So if you're making $50,000 a year, then Uncle Sam gets his 33%. He may hit you for 18, so you really bring home 32. Now, in your heart, you feel like you make 50, right? But in your bank account, you bring it home 32. So because in my heart, I feel like I make 50, I know I work hard enough to make 50, then I want to live a $50,000 lifestyle. Well, how do you make up that difference? From 32 to 50, you typically go out and get into debt as a result of that. So that's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with debt. If it gets out of control, that's when it becomes a problem. So we have to have solutions on how to overcome debt. So if Uncle Sam takes the first third of your money, then debt, when you pay that back with interest, takes the second third of your money. So basically you're working now from May through August to pay the banks back. So let's get this right. Inflation is killing you. Uncle Sam gets his money off the top. The banks get their money second, and then you get your money third, or you get to try to live off what's left third. Now, let me ask you a question. Who worked for it? Right? You did the work. You got up out of your bed early every day, or whenever you have to report in, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Some people are working 2 and 3 jobs, but why are you third in line to get to your money? All right, so we're going to talk about some solutions on how to fix that so you're no longer third in line. And then the last challenge we like to call big business, or a lack of financial sound decisions. All right, basically what that means is because we're being bombarded with inflation, taxes, and debt, we still are trying to live some sort of lifestyle. We're still trying to go on vacation. We're still trying to make sure the kids participate in sports. We still got all of these holidays that come up each and every month. All right, but big business has gotten extremely good at separating you from your money. Now, I'm not telling you not to celebrate the 4th of July. I'm not telling you not to participate in Christmas, but psychologically, where we are, because we work so hard for our money and have so little to show for it, we tend to go overboard a lot of times. Again, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I've been there. I've spent the mortgage money on Christmas for my kids because I worked so hard all year, and they did so good in school and with their chores and being obedient. I felt they deserved something, even though I really couldn't afford to give it to them. So I know what it's like to feel like you are only working just to pay bills, right? And big business also knows that about you. So they spend billions of dollars on the psychology of a consumer. They know what colors you like. They know what kind of music you like to shop to. They know all of this stuff about you so that they can separate you from your money. Again, I'm not telling you not to participate, but think about the calendar of the year. From New Year's to February, Valentine's Day, March, you have spring breaks, you have St. Patrick's Day. April, you have Easter, sometimes fall and Easter. Then you got proms. May, you got Memorial Day, graduations. June, Father's Day. It goes on and on until you get to November, where you got Thanksgiving. How many you gonna spend $300 or $400 just on the meal for Thanksgiving? And then you're gonna turn around and go spend another $1,000 on Black Friday. And then you may spend another $1,000 on Cyber Monday. And then that's just the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. How much money you gonna spend throughout that whole season? So corporations have gotten really good at separating you from your money. But again, if you have a game plan for your money, then you're less likely to allow that to happen. So we talked about the 2 objectives that we're trying to meet. We talked about the 4 challenges that are keeping working class people broke, busted, and disgusted, working just to pay bills. Now let's get to my favorite part, is the actual solution. So let me see how we're tracking on time. Good, we're tracking well on time. So we've got about a half an hour for me to go through this part of the presentation with you. So what you have to understand when it comes to the money game is that the game is rigged, but at the same time it's fair. Now, how can something be rigged and fair at the same time? It's rigged in the sense that there are 2 sets of tax codes for this country. So that as an employee, you have one set of books that you have to abide by, and as a business owner, you have a second set of books that you have to abide by. So it's fair in the sense that anyone can pick and choose how they earn money in this country. There's 3 primary ways that you earn money. Number 1 is a W-2. Number 2 as a 1099 or business owner. And number 3 as an investor. Here's the issue with the W-2. Now, again, we're not knocking anybody with a job. I have a job. I've always had a job because that's what it takes to take care of a family. I'm married, have 5 sons that I have to raise and put through college and through school and all of that kind of stuff. So a job serves its purpose. But we like to say, yes, go ahead and have your job, but just don't be satisfied there. There's so much more out there for you. And then don't put yourself in a position where you're only in the place where you're paying the most taxes. So 28 to 33%. Is what you're looking at when you're only an employee for its taxes. The net effect of a business owner when it comes to their taxes is 23 to, not 23, it's 18 to 23%. All right, and then investors pay less than 15%. Now, let me give you my disclaimer as I'm starting to write on the board. My board does not have spell check. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot live without it. So if I write something wrong and it's misspelled, charge it to my heart and not to my head, because I'm really not trying to lead you down the wrong path. But especially when I'm writing and talking at the same time. Lord knows I have enough trouble spelling when I'm just writing, but trying to do both. So my board doesn't have spell check. But think about it. 28 to 33% is what you're paying in taxes as an employee. We know that 90% of Americans make 100% of their income from a job. All right, that's not a problem. Again, it's only a problem if you don't know how to manage taxes, debt, inflation, and know how to stay away from big business really digging into your pockets. Again, the net effect from a business pays 18 to 23%, and then investors pay less than 15% because making money is actually the best situation to be in. And we're going to show you how you can systematically move from this place through this place and ultimately end up here in our program that's called income shifting. All right, so we talked about 3 solutions. All right. Solution number 1 is cash flow management. All right. You have to get your money working for you and doing more and getting it to go a lot further. I know you're in a W-2 situation, and we know that W-2s are taxed the most, but there are some things that you could be doing as someone who is, has a job only to get yourself in a better position financially. So there's 2 types of cash flow. You either have a negative cash flow or you have a positive cash flow. What do we mean by negative cash flow? Negative cash flow means this. Your lack of money is costing you money. I'll give you an example. Again, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. You get to a Wednesday and you don't have enough money to put gas in your car through Friday, and you don't have any money in your bank account, but you got that good old piece of plastic known as a debit card, right? What do? You go swipe that thing on a Wednesday and you push credit, because they tell us that credit don't process as fast. So you're hoping that it doesn't process until Friday. But what happens? It processes late Thursday night. There's a trickle down effects of some other charges that are there, and now you get overdraft fees. So you put $30 worth of gas in your car, end up costing you $64 because of the overdraft fee. Yeah, I know exactly how much the overdraft fee, because I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. So that's what we mean by the lack of money is costing you money. How about this one? Because I've been here too. Mortgage is due on the 15th. I get paid on the 22nd. I'm gonna pay my mortgage on the 22nd, but what are they gonna tack on when I do pay it on the 22nd? They're gonna tack on a late fee. Late fee is $75. So my lack of money, not that I didn't have it, I just didn't have it when I needed it. So now I'm paying an extra $75 to the mortgage company, right? Now, some of you guys may be sitting back saying, you know what? All right, extra $75 to the mortgage company, extra couple dollars on a late fee here, late fee there. That's not a big deal. But when you understand how the money game works, that is a very big deal. Because guess what? If I make those sorts of mistakes because of my lack of money, and say it's costing me $50 a year in $50 a month in overdrafts, that's $600 per year. Now, to some people, $600 is not a lot of money. You multiply that 600 by the amount of working years if you stay in that negative cash flow habit, right? Again, some people might say, well, 600 times 40, that's not a whole lot of money. Well, guess what? When you factor in how the money game is really played and think about investing that $600 per year at an 8% rate of return, now that becomes a big deal, because that money could actually be working for you instead of working against you. So on the other hand, you got positive cash flow. What do we mean by positive cash flow? What that simply means is your abundance of money saves you money. And I know you may be thinking, if I already got a lot of money, why I'm trying to save money? Because you know how the money game is played, and every dollar that you have in your possession is a dollar that can go to work for you. So I'll give you an example. I go into a car dealership and they want $30,000 for the new car that I'm looking at. I got $24,000 cash. Are they going to let me leave the lot with my $24,000, or are they going to give me that car? They're going to give me that car every time. So my abundance of money saved me $6,000. If I'm in a negative cash flow cycle, even if my credit is fairly decent, I go into that same dealership, don't have the $24,000 cash, but have to finance the car. Even if I got a good interest rate, I'm still going to pay more than $30,000 for that car. And that's what we're trying to get you to understand, is the interest on the debt is robbing you of your wealth. The interest on the debt is robbing you of your wealth, because every dollar that you're paying interest on is a dollar that you're not earning interest on as an investment. So we want to help you clean up your cash flow cycle and flip it from negative to positive. If that's you, if you're in a situation like me, if your cash flow is already positive, then we want to show you some things that help you get more cash flow into your house so you can start putting that money to work for you. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the form W-4. Most working class people, believe it or not, have this form filled out incorrectly. All right. As a result, they are overpaying their taxes to the tune of $40 to $60 per month, per week, too much. In other words, that's $160 to $200 per month too much that you're overpaying. So we will teach you how to revisit this form and adjust it properly so that you can get that money back in your household and stop giving it to Uncle Sam. Why is that important? Because again, 3 out of 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. If that is the case, you're struggling all year, but at the same time, you got an extra $200 a month that you're giving to Uncle Sam. Get this form corrected, and that money comes back into your household. That money you start putting towards the debt. That money you start helping to eliminate those late fees. That money you start using to systematically work for you. So strategy number 1 in cash flow management is adjust the W-4 form. Number 2 is we're going to go ahead and knock out the debt. So you got $200 coming back from making the adjustment on that form. Fellas, that don't mean you go out and buy new rims with your $200. And ladies, that don't mean you go get a new bag every month. That means you take this money and you use it to take out this guy who's robbing you of your ability to create wealth. So I'll give you an example of how that works. We like to call it a positive snowball effect. Say, for instance, you got an $8,000 credit card that you're paying $100 a month on. You start, instead giving them $100, you add the $200 that you got back from Uncle Sam, you add that to the $100 that you were already paying Visa. Now you're giving them $300 a month. Does that credit card bill disappear a lot faster? Certainly it does. Now, once that credit card bill is gone, you got $300 of positive cash flow. What do you do with it? Maybe you have a car note that you want to disappear. Instead of giving them $500 car note, you give them the $500 plus the $300. Now you're giving them $800 a month. Does that car note disappear in 18 to 24 months instead of 60 months? Certainly. So that snowball continues to happen for you so that you can get yourself in position to free up that cash to start investing and putting your money to work for you. All right. And then third step is start looking at your expenses. Right? Now that you have a game plan, now that you know how the money game is played, now that you know that big business is doing all they can to separate you from your money, you want to start looking at your expenses. I literally had $100 of subscriptions that I was paying for every month, and I wasn't using any of them. Right? So sometimes you pull out your bank statement and you look at where all of your money is going. Shoot, I still got to figure out how to get that doggone Spotify off my bill. They still hit me every doggone way. Anybody got a number for them? Because I need to call them and stop them from charging me this doggone $10 a month, right? So you look through your bank statements and figure out where your money is going so you can get better control of it. Now, these expenses could be something as serious as a cigarette habit or something as light as overpaying on a Netflix account or something like that. You know, I was overpaying for cable. I was not even watching enough TV to justify paying $150 a month for a cable bill. Maybe that's you. So we want you to look at your expenses. All of this is called cash flow management or cash flow mastery. You have to master not only the cash that comes into your house, but also the cash that flows away from your house. Because trust me, most of us don't have a get money problem, right? We all know how to get money. We have a cash flow problem in the sense that too much of our cash is constantly flowing away from us. So strategy number 1 is cash flow management. We want you to get mastery of the cash that not only flows into your house, but the cash that flows away from your house. All right. Now we're on to strategy number 2. And by the way, if you're working a job only, you're basically saying this: I work first, I pay taxes second, then I spend what's left. Again, I work first, I pay taxes second, then I spend what's left. All right, so we talked about minimizing taxes here with the W-4 form. There's another way that you can minimize taxes, and that is by developing business income, right? And in particular, when we talk about business income, we like to talk more about the home-based business versus a traditional brick and mortar. Why is that such a major difference? Because a home-based business allows you to write off expenses that you already have. Now, all businesses get to write off their expenses, but if me and my man Ronnie here went to open up a t-shirt shop, then we're going to incur some new expenses. All right, we're going to go and lease a building, we're going to go and lease some equipment, we're going to go get a new phone line, we're going to get a new internet service for that business. So those are new expenses that we are creating. Well, guess what? When you have a home-based business, Uncle Sam recognizes a home-based business as a valid entity just as any other business, and then you get to write off all of the expenses that you currently have. So we're talking about your cell phone. Everybody out there is going to pay a cell phone bill each and every month, whether they have a home-based business or not. We're talking about your internet. You're going to pay an internet bill whether you have a home-based business or not. How about this? Rent or mortgage. Whether you have a home-based business or not, you're paying for somewhere to live. And then are you going to do this too? You're going to drive a vehicle that you own? Of course you are. Well, guess what? When you add a home-based business to a 1099, this is the second and probably the most effective way to minimize your taxes, because what it allows you to do is take everyday common expenses and they become legal, legitimate, and ethical tax deductions. All right, everyday expenses that you already have. All right, you already have these expenses. So what a business owner is saying when they operate on the 1099 is, my business works first, my business gets to spend second, and then my business will pay taxes third. That is a radical shift, and I want you to understand how powerful that is. Again, my business works first, my business spends second. So what is your business spending on? Some of this stuff that you're already spending on right now. All right, and then you get to pay taxes on what's left. What's really cool about that is that these tax deductions will also offset your W-2 income. That's why this is such a powerful strategy. Now, I'm going to show you this real quick as we're talking about how this actually plays out. I don't know if I can draw this up here, but all right, that should be 50K. You make $50,000 on your job, right? Without a home-based business, Uncle Sam is going to take 18. That's going to leave you with 32K, right? You're probably going to go and borrow another 18. And because you're borrowing another 18, you got to pay that 18 back. And that's going to leave you with 14K. That's what you're trying to live off of. That's what you're trying to vacation on. That's what you're trying to take your fiance or your significant other on special outings. You're trying to do all of that with 14K. All right. Here's the difference. Same numbers. All right. Let's see if I can get this figured out. Same numbers. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. So this time you 50K, right? You spend first. You spend on what? You spend on your lifestyle. All right. That's going to leave you with the same 32K. But here's the major difference. Before I had a home-based business, I got taxed on a full $50,000. Because I have a home business and I had $18,000 worth of expenses, what am I being taxed on now? I'm being taxed on $32,000. The difference between being taxed on $18,000 and being taxed on $32,000 is about $11,000 in tax savings. All right. Basically, what you're doing is you're able to put an extra $225 per week back into your household by establishing a home-based business. All right. Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, I don't have a business idea, or where am I going to get this home-based business? If you decide to partner with us, then you can simply add this as your home-based business. And what is this? We teach people this income shifting strategy. We teach people how to adjust their W-4 form. We teach people that they are overpaying in their taxes. We teach people tax minimization strategies so working class people can get out from under the gun of living paycheck to paycheck. That is a stressful situation. And again, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Living paycheck to paycheck is stressful. That's why I don't have no hair on the top of my head, right? That is stressful. You know, I keep my face shaved because I don't want y'all to see the white that's starting to show up in my face, because living paycheck to paycheck is stressful. Guys, we have a solution that most working class people can use, and all we have to do is introduce them to these strategies they can plug in and they can get their finances in order. All right. So for less than $200 and right at about $35 per month, that's per month, you can plug in with us and you have a home-based business, and all of the 475 tax deductions that are available to home-based businesses are available to you. All right, what's the benefit of plugging in with us? Number one, the benefit is whether you really get active with the business side or not, we're still going to teach you strategy number one, how to get your money to work for you a lot better, how to get that extra $200 to $400 back in your household when you properly adjust your W-4 form, how to use our tools and our software to plug in this data so that you can get on a game plan to eliminate your debt. So you're still going to get that. But in addition, you have the ability to earn unlimited $25, $50, $500, and $1,000 bonuses by sharing and teaching these strategies to others. Now, we have a team meeting that's going to go down right after this, where we'll be talking about how you can make your first $3,000 to $4,000 using this strategy and introducing these to others. So type in the chat if you want more information on that, and we will get you plugged into that team meeting. But basically, you have your own financial education franchise, and you start teaching these strategies to others, and you can start building a strong passive and residual income by sharing these strategies and these concepts with others. Now, that's strategy number two. Strategy number three is investment income. All right, now, what does an investor say? What's the philosophy behind investing? An investor says this: my money works, my money gets reinvested, and then my money makes more money. And then it's taxed less than 15%. Again, my money works, my money gets reinvested, and then my money makes more money. Guys, that's the name of the game. That's where you want to be. All right. When you invest, you have the ability to earn capital gains. That just basically means when you own a piece of a company, be it a stock or something of that nature, when that company value rises, that's called a capital gain, because you got a gain on your capital, or the value of the money that you had invested increase. And again, capital gains taxes are capped at 15%. You can also earn something called dividends. All right, dividends, or some companies will allow you to invest and they pay out this gain quarterly, right? So that's another form of income that you can get, guys. But let's be clear here. The biggest investment that you will ever make in your entire life is an investment in yourself. You guys have all come to hang out with me on this webinar and talk about, and you're investing an hour of your time, right, to learn some wealth building strategy. So that's an investment in yourself. If you decide to partner with me and the Young Wealth Builders, that is an investment in yourself that you will be able to turn and exercise and gain a return on that investment. So that pretty much wraps us up, but I want you to be clear on something. Just in case you were not tracking, we just showed you how you can increase or create 5 streams of income from the 1 stream that you currently have. Let me run through them real quick and then we'll be done. Income stream number 1 is you adjusting your W-4 form, getting that money back from Uncle Sam. That's income stream number 1. Income stream number 2 is when you took the money you got back from Uncle Sam and you start applying it towards your debt. Every time you pay off a debt, that's almost like giving yourself a pay raise. Because if you got $100 a month going out to a debt, that debt disappears, that's $100 a month back into your household. So that's income stream number 2 from debt. We talked about you reviewing or looking at your bank statements to see where all of your money is going. Maybe instead of eating out for lunch 5 days a week, you brown bag it 3 days a week and you treat yourself too. When you start minimizing expenses, that is money coming back to your household that was getting away from you. That's income stream number 3. We talked about you opening up your own financial education franchise where you can teach people these strategies, all right? That's income stream number 4 because you're able to make unlimited $25, $50, $500, $1,000 bonuses with business income. And then strategy number 5, guys, we teach you how to take all 3 of these streams of income plus this stream of income and how to invest in what we call the wholesale market. That's where you get greater rates of returns than you would at a local bank or credit union. So you start incurring what we call investment income as a 5th stream of income. Now, I don't know about you guys, but before I ran across this information, I had absolutely no money game plan. All I know is that bills had to be paid at a certain time, and that's all I was working to do. I had no idea about how my money could work for me. I had no idea what Uncle Sam was really doing to me. I had no idea that the banks were robbing me of my ability to build wealth. I had no idea that if my money was making money for me, I would pay less in taxes. So hopefully you guys, you learned something today. I don't know how you found out about this webinar, but wherever you're seeing it at, if you are serious about making this transition and you need help along the way, at this point, you're either 1 of 3 people, all right? You're either a number 3. A number 3 simply says that, you know what? This was some great information. I'm gonna use it in my life, but I'm not necessarily interested in partnering with you or the Young Wealth Builders. And that's fine, because we are educators, and I love the fact that I can educate you and impart some knowledge to you, whether you decide to partner with me or not, and you can take that knowledge and it can help you in your future. One thing I will ask, though, is that you get back with the person who invited you and at least tell them thank you because they were looking out for your best interest. You may be a number 2. A number 2 says, you know what? I'm not really all that excited about this right here, but I am excited about this right here, and I know I need to clean up my money. I know I need to make my money go further. Well, number 2, same thing. Get back with the person who invited you. Let them know that you're a number 2. You're primarily interested in the strategies. They will answer any of your questions and let you know what it takes to get you started, right? And then you may be like me, a number 3. I understand fully what the franchising model is all about, and I understand the power of having leveraged income. Like I said, I'm the father of 5 sons, youth basketball coach. There's some other things that I would love to do with my time outside of getting up and going to work and giving it to a company 8-10 hours a day. But you can't do that unless you're making non-wage income through investments or you're making leverage income through franchising. So if you're like me and you're a number 1 and you say, you know what, I want the strategies because I'm jacked up financially, like I was, or maybe you're not jacked up financially, you just say, you know what, I can make my money go a lot further understanding these strategies, but I know we need this information in our community, so I'm gonna go ahead and start me a financial education franchise as well and start teaching and educating others. If that's you, get back to the person who shared this information with you. If you saw it on my Facebook page and you're watching live on Facebook, watching live on YouTube, simply type me a message that you want to get a hold of me, and then shortly after our team meeting, which follows immediately after this, I will get in contact with you and let you know what it is that you need to do to get started. So again, with that, I'd like to say thank you for coming to hang out with your main man, H Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. Hopefully you learned something, but my bigger hope is you actually go out and apply what you learn, whether you partner with me, whether whether you start your own home-based business in another arena, understand that the tax code is the #1 way for you to build wealth in this country, but you have to have a business in order to access it. So again, thanks. And until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace.